What's up, Toombas, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is TytheTrainer, and I am excited for this video today. So I've covered most of the compounds from the back squat, deadlift, bench press, rows, dips, all that fun stuff. And I think it's time I go over a skill as I train primarily calisthenics. And the skill I've chosen to go over today is my absolute favorite, the back lever or back lever. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the introduction. Let's get right into the video. Alright, to start things off, I just wanted to share one quick thing with everybody. So if you don't really know me, or if you're new to my channel, I didn't grow up doing gymnastics purely. I grew up doing parkour, free running, and all that kind of side street stunting kind of stuff. And I learned these skills from my instructors, but my dad, when he was my age, when he was very little, he did gymnastics, and he gave me his, I think it's called a code of points. And when you look at the back lever, see right here, this is from 1968, by the way, so it's probably a little bit betterly updated now, but it is rated an A. And if you don't know what that means, basically an A skill is the easiest of the easiest. Like, this is going to be a cakewalk for you. So gymnasts are just strong on a whole other level. And if you've tried a back lever, you probably disagree with that on how easy it is. So, but don't worry, with practice and getting the proper techniques and body alignment, you will get it. You just got to pursue it, okay?
The back lever is a challenging calisthenics and gymnastics skill that requires significant strength, flexibility, and body control. It primarily targets the muscles of the back, shoulders, arms, and core, but let's delve into the specific muscles involved in executing the back lever. The latissimus dorsi is one of the largest muscles in our back, and they will play a significant role in the back lever because they are responsible for our shoulder extension and adduction. The trap muscles are involved in stabilizing our scapula during the back lever. They will primarily perform the depression component and maintain proper shoulder position. The rhomboid muscles, which are located deep between our shoulder blades, they will also be a primary stabilizer of our scapula. The pectoralis major and the serratus anterior will help stabilize the scapula and our position in the back lever via scapular protraction. Our posterior deltoids, which are rear deltoid muscles, will assist in shoulder extension. They help to counterbalance the weight of the body and stabilize the shoulders during our back lever. The biceps brachii muscles, located in the front of our upper arm, assist in elbow flexion. Keep in mind, though, this is going to be a straight arm contraction to help stabilize the arms. The brachialis and brachiradialis will assist in elbow flexion and stabilization of our arms during the back lever. Our forearm flexors will play a pretty big role in gripping and maintaining tension on the bar or the rings during our back lever. They will also help stabilize our wrists and maintain grip strength throughout the movement. Our core muscles, specifically our rectus abdominis, obliques, and transverse abdominis. The core muscles will be engaged throughout the back lever to stabilize the body and maintain proper alignment. The rectus abdominis will provide anterior core stabilization, while the obliques and transverse abdominis will help with lateral stability and rotational control. Our gluteal muscles, particularly the gluteus maximus, will help maintain hip extension and overall lower body alignment during the back lever via a posterior pelvic tilt. And finally, the hamstrings. They will assist in maintaining hip extension and stability, especially when our body is fully extended and our legs are straight in the back lever. Alright, Joombas, now that we know all the muscles that are involved in major roles in the back lever, we are going to go over the setup. And this is where you will start to see some diversity depending on the individual or your individual skill level. There are a couple things to note when setting up for the back lever. The closer your rings are to the anchor point, the more stability you will have and the easier the movement will be. The further away they are, obviously one if they're too low, you're not going to be able to set it up. But if they're at a lower height, they're going to be harder because there's going to be less stability. The second thing is, if you're a beginner, I highly, highly recommend investing in a set of bands. This will help allow you to progressively overload the movement. If you go into the skill with no way to, feel the proper position, the proper post tilt of the pelvis, protraction of the scapula, and you're just dropping down and failing every time, not only is that going to be very discouraging, but you're not going to be able to learn the position properly, learn how to activate the muscles properly, and actually hold the position. And the last thing I want to note about the setup is your point of entrance to the back lever. So what I mean by this is you can start off by the full straight arm pull into your back lever via a skin the cat. You can do an assisted version where you don't have the ability to do the skin the cat yet, so you jump into it and then set up your position from there. Or if you're an advanced athlete and you're an absolute madman, you can start from the bottom position and pull yourself up into the back lever. So depending on your skill and your capabilities of where you are at your training, those are the 3 ways to get into the back lever, okay? To begin our back lever, we're going to initiate a skin the cat from a seated or a hanging position. The best way to think about this is a lat pull down with straight arms. Initiate the skin the cat with straight arms, pulling yourself upside down. Now, a lot of people will drop straight into the movement from here. However, I want you to start by setting the position while you're upside down. Begin by posteriorly tilting the pelvis to set your hip position. From here, you're going to depress and slightly protract your scapula. And lastly, you're going to try to bring the rings together behind your back via adduction. And this is just a side view of all of the above. So we're starting by posteriorly tilting our pelvis to set our hips. Then we're going to depress and protract our scapula. And then I'm just going to lever onto the bar here to show you that I'm trying to bring the rings together behind my butt. And that will help you create a stable place to hold in your back lever. It is also very important that we pick a proper intensity for our skill level. So, if you're just starting the back lever, we start off with a single leg. Then we can progress to a frog style back lever. And once our confidence grows again and we're getting comfortable, then we can progress to a straddle back lever. And when you're ready to hit the major leagues, then you move on to the full back lever. I also recommend practicing both grips of pronation and supination, but choose the one that is most comfortable on your wrist and shoulder. When using bands for assistance in our back lever, you can use just the ends of each band, which will provide little assistance. I also recommend putting them about halfway up the ring before you grab onto them. I find it falls more comfortably into your wrist. Or you can cinch up the band a couple inches or however long you want to create more tension in them, henceforth providing way more support in the movement.
Okay, Chumbas, so that pretty much wraps up how to back lever. Those are all the steps you'll need to succeed with the movement. Couple things I just want to go over before we end the video here is the first thing, when you start the back lever, do not get discouraged if your hold times are less than 1 second or just a couple seconds. This is a very challenging skill and it takes a lot of practice and consistency to get really good at, okay? So don't worry, eventually you'll get to that Instagram star status of just being able to pop them whenever, but when you're starting out, don't worry if your hold times are a little less than ideal. And on the note of hold times, when you're starting out and you're using bands, I'd highly recommend getting comfortable with a stronger band. Like, for example, you can start off with a thicker band with more assistance. And when you can hold the back lever position for a solid 30 plus seconds with perfect technique, then you can progressively overload it by using a thinner band. And that will be a good indicator of, you're getting stronger and you're getting more comfortable in the movement. So that being said too, don't be scared to film yourself, because you'll want to see where your position is through the thoracic region to the hip region. You want to make sure everything is nice and tight on whatever version of the lever you're doing. So keep that in mind as well. Okay guys, and I want to go over the most common mistake I see in the back lever when you're getting started, or even for people that have been practicing for a while. And I often make some of these mistakes sometimes, and I just have to readjust my position. So the first one is the improper placement of your scapula. So I see two things in this. One, either you're not in protraction at all, so you're fully retracted. You won't have a very stable base of support if you're not in a protracted scapula for the back lever. The second is overly protracted. So instead of not being any retracted, you're fully protracted with flexed spine. So you're almost folding yourself in half at this point, and it just looks a little janky, and I don't think it actually counts as the back lever, because technically you're just in an upside down, almost V position. So I'll show you both just so you guys get a visualization of what I mean. So the first one is we're going to go into just retraction. We're not even going to retract the scapula at all. So I keep up here, drop on down, and now my scap is, see how I'm kind of like a banana? It's not very comfortable, and I don't feel very strong. And you don't want that at all. Second mistake, overly protracted, is we get set up really, really good. We protract but almost fold, and then we just drop our lower body. So see what I mean? How I'm kind of pointed towards the ground? I want to be actually in this extended position with my upper body facing forward. So you got to learn to stay in that protracted state, but extend your upper thoracic spine for a maximal, or for the best, I guess, support for your back lever position. The second most common mistake is not having a proper line of pull. So a lot of people, they just think in the back lever position that your arms are just an anchor point to hold you here. And while that is true, you need a certain line of pull to help keep you there. So the back lever is almost very similar to the planche. If you don't know what the planche is, that is where you're almost in a push-up position on the floor, but you're actively trying to flex the shoulder to hold you there. Same goes for the back lever. You're holding onto these rings, and if you just let your arm relax here,
you're not going to have a very strong pull to keep your body aligned. So you have to make sure from this position, you're trying to actively flex your shoulder forward. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but keeping that tension on will help you adjust your body position perfectly level and get better muscle activation during the back lever as well. All right, and a bonus thing I just wanted to cover, if you're an avid calisthenics practitioner and you invested in a dream machine, a gravity force dream machine, and you want to learn the back lever, I love this dream machine, and it really is an efficient tool for, say, our planche movement and, say, the iron cross. But I personally find for the back lever, I would just go with the bands to start. Just the way the straps line up and the way the position is, it's a little janky, and I feel like you would get more benefit from learning with the bands with the free range of motion. So I'll try my best to demo a back lever on this system. So you would get yourself upside down as per usual, set your hip position, blah blah blah, protraction, and slowly come on down. But see how the belt is right tight to me? I have to move my hands actively to get into that full position, and then even if I do, the straps end up being in the way. As opposed to just with the rings and your band, you have nothing interfere with you, so you don't have to break your position, breaking that tension. So the G4, don't get me wrong, like I said, I love this thing. However, it's more suited for planche, iron cross, handstands, and like pelican curls of the such. Alright, my Choombas, that wraps up the how to back lever video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I sincerely hope this helps you in getting your first back lever, because I remember how excited I was learning it and how happy I was when I first got it. So if you're looking for a calisthenics workout, I have a playlist on my YouTube called Begin Calisthenics, or I have one on my website at TytheTrainer.ca with full guides, program days, all that fun stuff. So if you guys have anything to add that I missed, please let me know in the comments below. But I hope you have a fantastic day, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.